December 1944. The Ardennes forest. Snow drifted like falling ash. The sky hung low, heavy with fog. And inside that frozen labyrinth, a battle began, a battle that has been misunderstood for nearly 8 decades. The world remembers it by a familiar name, the Battle of the Bulge. But what history often forgets is the deeper, more complicated, more brutal truth. This wasn't a desperate last attack by Germany. It was a calculated gamble, bold, dangerous, almost insane, yet carefully designed. Most people picture tanks rolling through snowy forests, American soldiers fighting in blizzards, roads clogged with armored columns. But behind that familiar image lies a lesser-told story. A battle shaped by false assumptions, misread signals, misplaced confidence, and fear that flowed in the wrong direction. The Ardennes offensive is often summarized as a German surprise attack. That is true, but painfully incomplete. To understand why the world misunderstood this battle, you have to peel back every layer. The intelligence failures, the arrogance, the terrain, the weather, and the sheer chaos that swallowed everything in its path. 1. The battle is misunderstood because it began with a lie on both sides. Most accounts were written after the war, shaped by hindsight. But at the moment it unfolded, the battlefield was a storm of confusion. Reports were scattered. Maps were wrong. American units were thinly spread. Experienced officers had been rotated out. Entire sectors were held by green divisions with little combat exposure. History often explains the surprise as German trickery. But what's often forgotten is Allied overconfidence. American commanders believed Germany had nothing left. Intelligence dismissed early warnings. Fog grounded reconnaissance aircraft. And the Ardennes sector, quiet, calm, almost sleepy, was considered the safest part of the front. So when the German attack came, it didn't just shatter defenses. It shattered assumptions. The misunderstanding didn't start with the battle. It started with the belief that it couldn't happen. 2. Hitler wasn't acting blindly, he was calculating. His plan, named Wacht am Rhein, sounded harmless. But it was one of the most ambitious operational gambles of the entire war. The objective wasn't simply to punch through American lines. The objective was to split the Allied armies, seize Antwerp, the lifeline of the Allied supply chain, and force the Western Allies into negotiating peace. Many think Hitler acted out of madness, but declassified documents show something else. Germany assembled its remaining elite units, nearly 200,000 men, 1,400 tanks and assault guns, and every drop of fuel left in reserve. This wasn't a suicidal gesture. This was a last, dangerous shot at victory. Not delusion. Calculation. History often shows U.S. forces being pushed back, struggling against German armor. But the hidden truth is far more brutal. Many U.S. divisions were at half their authorized strength. Some units had no proper winter gear. Others had been in Europe for less than 2 weeks. They faced the strongest German armored concentration since Normandy. Yet, instead of collapsing, they held. From Bastogne to Elsenborn Ridge, from Streetvith to nameless villages buried in snow, small groups of American soldiers resisted overwhelming force. And here's the part the world forgets. These small pockets of resistance slowed the entire German offensive. A single platoon blocking a forest road. 30 men holding a bridge. One isolated company defending a crossroads. Germany's massive offensive stalled because of men who refused to move. This is the most misunderstood truth of all. The Ardennes offensive almost worked. German documents reveal they were only hours, sometimes minutes away from key objectives. They broke the American line at multiple points. At their peak, they advanced nearly 80 kilometers into Allied territory. But then the clock turned against them. Fog slowed the advance. Forest roads were too narrow for armored columns. Fuel dwindled. Traffic jams became deadly choke points. And every hour lost gave American defenders time to regroup. When the skies finally cleared, U.S. aircraft returned swooping down like steel hawks, tearing German armor apart on frozen roads. Germany wasn't defeated by weakness. It was defeated by terrain, weather, and time. History lists the Ardennes as an Allied victory. But victory didn't come from a single brilliant plan or a decisive maneuver. It came from squads fighting until their ammunition ran dry, sergeants making battlefield calls in moments of panic, artillery crews firing through fog so thick they couldn't see the tree line, pockets of isolated defenders who stood their ground because there was nowhere left to fall back to. The Bulge wasn't a triumph of strategy. It was a triumph of survival. A battle remembered for its outcome, but rarely for its cost. The Ardennes wasn't a desperate German attack. It wasn't an easy American victory. It wasn't a simple story of surprise and response. It was a battle born from miscalculation, fought in misery, and won through sheer human endurance. A battle where ordinary soldiers, freezing, surrounded, exhausted, held the fate of an entire front line in their hands. A battle that has been misunderstood, but can never be forgotten